Greetings, adventurers, Frostback, and today I want to finally make my video on the ZG Croc farm. I'm going to show you a couple different strats on how you can kill them. You pull all the crocs, all the tigers in one pull here, and I will also show you how to do the zombies, and you can do them with either spec. So this first run is doing the blizzard's kill style, and the spec will look something like this. And the spec looks like this. I go with frost wording because frost wording just gives you extra armor and makes you a little bit more survivable. You don't use frostbolt ever in the farm. The extra hit does seem to help with Frost Nova. Frost Nova is not really super important for this farm, but if you get dazed or sometimes like that, it can be nice. And then going down from there, it's pretty much like a standard blizzard kill spec. There's a few things you can move around, like the 4 points and shatter don't really matter. You can kind of put those wherever you want, except for frostbite. That's the only one that will mess it up. So you can like adjust the spec to how you want it. Also, piercing ice isn't super needed. And then you go down the arcane tree, you want arcane concentration, magic absorption is kind of like your optional one, and then arcane meditation and mana shield are very nice, and the extra armor is not bad. So then now getting to the pull, you get over to here, and there's a few different ways to get over here, and I'll show you a few. You saw the first one with frost novaing the things, the son of a cars, and then jumping across this thing, and then they will reset. And if you pull those crocs on accident, you can actually run up the hill and they'll automatically reset. And then once the berserker got past that tree, you're free to start the pull. You pull the 2 croc packs and you run up to this corner right here. And then you wait for the crocs to get close, run to the tigers, you pull from that first tiger. So we'll go back here real quick. You pull that first tiger right here, and then you run over to the second tiger and you pull that one, and that will pull all the tigers. There's only 2 packs and they'll automatically chain all the rest. And the elites are the main thing you're worried about. The cubs aren't a huge deal if you pull all of them. They don't have insane drops and they don't give a ton of XP. Then you'll come over to the rock, jump across with slow fall, and this is why you want to use noggin foggers, because if you're not using noggin foggers to get the slow fall, the 2 minutes, you need 2 full minutes on the slow fall. Now you can actually make this jump on your mount, but you don't need to, but it is nice when you do make it. And now the patrols are very good if you first enter the instance and then you start the pull immediately, which is why I'm confident to come over here and pull this pack and not worry that this berserker will be in the way. He should not be in the way. And then you can simply slow fall off here. You do want to be careful not to hit the wall, because if you hit the wall, you can fall straight down, and that's pretty much a guaranteed death. Now you can come over to this tree and you can jump up the tree. You can also blink through the tree. I like to use the blink to get to the tree faster because it's a long swim. And jump off this rock, CS that pack. Then you can body pull that pack. Preferably you want to fire blast it when you're further up the hill, because it does get kind of close sometimes. And then here, I like to hug this wall here because the crocs kind of run along up here, and then I blink past them to be able to pull this pack. Then I will ice block and then cancel the ice block and lip before a lot of the mobs get to me. And then that allows them to guarantee that I can get a frost nova on all of them. And then if one of them resist, I will just cone of cold the ones that resist, because that will the cone of cold slow will make them stack up just perfectly with the frost nova ending. Their timing is about right. And then you want to jump up on this rope. You come back, not between this one, not between this one, between this one. The third gap. And then you want to jump up on the rope, and then when they come over to here, when they're starting to gather up in a line, you jump down, and then they'll all gather up into a point, and then you can blizzard. And now there's a few different ways you can jump on this rope. I like to use RP walk, and I'll get right up against the rope, and then I'm running into the rope or strafing into the rope, and I press my jump and it'll jump up onto the rope. And then sometimes they won't turn around. If they don't, then I will backpedal to the back left and readjust just barely so that I don't fall off the rope. And you just keep doing the stands back and forth, blizzarding them. You can use your toe up, you can use mana gems. I make a couple different mana gems, and yeah, you just continue doing this, and you can just jump back and forth. Even if you don't have mana, you can just sit there jumping back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, regenning mana if you have no way to regen mana. And the more you do the jump, the more you'll get used to the jump, and it'll become easier and easier and easier. Now, if you want to Evo, preferably you have them come down to you right here, you jump up, and then you'll evo there, because that'll give you a ton of time before they reach you, and then you simply just have to jump down after your evo is done, or if they're getting too close to you, and they can regather at the bridge, and you put your blizzard at the top of the bridge, and it will gather back up again. So this strat's very easy. However, there is one race, a female undead cannot do this. Jumping on the bridge or on the rope does not really work for them. So there is another style of killing them that you can use using Master of Elements and Cone of Cold kiting. Granted, it is a harder way to do it. However, I do enjoy it more. I like the challenge of Master of Elements kiting, but it's not the most efficient because you will die more often unless you're playing absolutely perfectly. However, it does have the upside of being able to kill them faster. Blizzard does not do as much DPS as Master of Elements kiting, which is a bonus to it. So if you're doing Master of Elements perfectly, you actually can save more time and make the fitting in the zombies easier. But doing the zombies is slightly harder as Master of Elements because you don't have arcane or clear casting. But it's still totally doable to do the zombies without it. But now that we've seen the Blizzard strat, let's get into the Master of Elements strat. Now, we'll go and throw this on 2 times again. And here you can see I was boosting at the time when I was recording this. Let's go and skip through all this. And the easiest way to reset is just to log out. You have everyone log out. You have one person pass leader to one of your alts that you log into. Once they pass leader to you, you tell everyone to log out at the same time. And then you tell them to log back in after 10 seconds. When everyone's logged out, you reset the instance on your alt. You swap over to your main, log in, and the instance is reset. Sometimes it will bug out and you'll have to run out of the instance to reset it. That usually only happens if you're saved CG, which you can even sell boost if you're saved, but then that person can only buy boost from you because they're saved to your ZG or from other people that ran with you. So now this is the other way that you can run to start the pull. And also, as you can see, I'm using a Swiftness Zanza, which gives you 20% movement speed. That is very, very nice for when you're doing the Master of Elements pull because it makes it so the circle kiting is much easier and you can fix your mistakes a lot easier. So now, as you can see, I just sit on this stump, I get the slow fall, and you can see the Berserker padding across, and he's just past the point where he is ready to go. But before we get into the pull, I want to go over the spec. And the spec looks like this. It's pretty simple. You go down the frost tree, you want to get improved Cone of Cold, you want to get Ice Barrier, all the standard stuff. It's super important to get Arctic Reach for the bigger radius for your Cone of Cold. I like getting 3 out of 3 Elemental Precision. It seems like it kind of helps with resists. I think it's really up to like 4 helps, but there's like no point in putting 1 point in improved Frostbolt, in my opinion. So might as well just go with the extra hit, and then you have it for ZG if you're like running an actual ZG, and it feels better when you're DPSing in that. And then you want to get Shatter. You need 5 out of 5 Shatter for when you're doing the Shatter combos with Master of Elements. That's big. And then there's a few points that you can move around in like Frost Channeling that you don't need that reduced mana cost of Frost spells. You can also go into Ice Shards that will increase your kill time on the Crocs by quite a bit because you're doing a lot of damage with your Cone of Cold. And then when you're going down the fire tree, you really want to get Ignite. You cannot get an Impact because that will split up your grouping. You want to get improved Flame Strike for that extra crit on the shatters. Burning Soul is nice because sometimes a Frost Nova will heartbeat and you don't want to get knocked back by like a cub or like one tiger or something like that, right? And then in the Arcane Tree, I go with Arcane Subtlety just to get that 10 spell pen because it does seem to reduce resists. But now, without further ado, let's get into the pull. Start your Ice Barrier, and then you jump here, and you try and hug the right wall so that they don't hit you, and you pull both packs. Same thing. It's just another way of starting the pull. Because there are ways that if you're boosting, like here I'm boosting rogues and person above level 55 that can get into range of XP without pulling those dancing trolls. So I don't need to do that setup. Then everything's the same from here for doing the pull. I do hug this wall to try and not get hit. Now, it's not a huge deal if you get dazed, because you do get hit sometimes. But the reason I angle myself into the wall is because that allows the Crocs to, like, they have this weird pathing where they'll run back behind you and then they'll go up towards you. And it depends where they are on their patrol, whether or not they hit you. And then the pull's the same over here. You go ahead and CS that last Croc pack, run a little bit past this tree, slow fall down here. Bada bing, bada boom. You can Frost Nova the fish, try and not get hit by him, and continue on. Go ahead and skip over this. You grab that last 2 Croc packs, run over here, blink through that Croc pack, pull that one Fire Blast, block, lip, cancel our Ice Block lip, and Frost Nova them all. And now we are going out to the kill area. Now I'm going to reduce this to 1x speed for doing the kill. And you have to expect resists on this. This is not an easy way of killing them. You will die a lot, but like I said, I do really enjoy it. So I like to first aid here, try and get full health, and then I blink in a diagonal direction of them so that they're flat against me. Land a Frost Nova on all of them, pray that they don't resist. Very nice when they don't. Now, you have to be careful when you're killing them like this because you want to get the cubs down to a certain percent. So I won't shatter on that first one because that will mess up the health of the cubs. I just do a cone right before the Frost Nova wears off, and then I do a second cone into a Frost Nova. Now you can see I have the cub targeted from a macro to be able to target the cub, and then I will toe up Flame Strike that shatter, and that will one-shot all of the cubs. I'll do a Arcane Explosion or 2 after just to make sure they all die. And then now you don't have to worry about cubs running away in fear at all. And you simply just want to continue coning them on cooldown before the slow falls off. And then as you can see, when one resists, you can blink past and then Frost Nova them when they're all even with each other. And that kind of can reset the stack for you. And you just continue kiting in a circle. If you need mana, you can Frost Nova them all. And then Cone of Cold on that Frost Nova. And there you can see I do the blink through again. Frost Nova, and then sadly I got another resist, but because I Frost Nova'd on cooldown, he still has a Cone of Cold on him, so I can just kite him right back into the pack and then reset it up again. And then here, if you have Ice Barrier C, you can just hope that you don't get a slow, and I do use PvP Trinket in case I get a slow. So you just have to find a way to deal with resist, having grenades and stuff like that. And I do enjoy like dealing with these resists. It is a more active farm than the Blizzard farm, but you will die more often. You just continue going until you kill them. And the more shatter combos you get, like if there's less resists on Frost Novas, you can kill them very, very quickly doing it like this. Or if you have Blade of Eternal Darkness, then you can kill them quite quickly by being able to spam max rank Arcane Explosion. But basically it's the same thing. They are still over on, the boosters are still over on the rock getting XP from here, and just a different way of killing them. And this is the best way, I think, for undead females to be able to kill them because they can't really use the rope. And then now finally there is the zombie pull. And I use the zombie pull mainly just to avoid hitting dungeon lockout. So if you're only doing the Crocs, it's pretty easy to do over 5 in an hour. Like, so what you can do is come over here and do these zombies. They can give your party extra XP, so it's a nice little bonus there. And then also, they have the chance to drop the blues, the ZG trash blues, which includes Zulian Hacker, which can get you a lot of money, obviously. And these also tend to drop a lot of greens and stuff like that, and they drop some raw gold. So about 20 silver each, which is pretty nice. You do end up splitting it with your party though. So now, where I just wait, you can wait here and wait for this Berserker to patrol past. If you're waiting over here, it is going to be pretty tight. So I'm like already trying to get Noggin Foggers, as you can see. And then I'll run up the hill. And then once you finally get a slow fall, you can go ahead and mount up. And now there's 4 packs here. Because I don't have much time, because the Berserker wasn't in a great spot, I can't really get all the packs. I don't have time. So as you can see, there's one pack here, and this one will patrol to the boss and back. And then there's another pack here. And then there's packs that patrol over here. And then there's also one behind this temple right there. So I wasn't able to get to that one in time because, as you'll see, I barely made it in time. And then there's a last pack right here. So you just want to pull them all. Now, also, I had them reset because the Berserker, I had to go quickly. I couldn't wait for them to get closer to me before I could jump. As you can see, this was quite tight. And you just want to jump towards this rock right here. You kind of want to hug this wall. You can land on this rock, and you can make the jump from here to here. My jump didn't go off, sadly, but you don't need to make that jump. Like, you can do it on foot, but it is slightly more sketchy, as you will see. But you just want to kind of set up towards the stairs, and you will try and slow them with Blizzard and try and get them into somewhat of a group. But they do dispel their slow, so it doesn't work perfectly. I just use rank 1s to try and stack them up, and they do kill themselves using Blood Rage ability. So you don't need to actually Blizzard them, you just kind of need to kite them long enough that you live. So I missed the cone there, just went for Frost Nova, and grenading would have been, there's the grenade. That gives me some time, and now you want to jump on. Same spot for the Crocs, third hole in the rope. And then you just go ahead and kill them with Blizzard. And the only difference is you kill them faster here because they're killing themselves. Now, I mess up here and don't use my trinkets, and I'm not using as many max ranks as I should be, because since they're killing themselves, you only get XP based off how much damage you do to them. So to get your boosters maximum XP, you want to try and use your trinkets and try and just use as many max ranks as you can as fast as possible to try and do as much damage as you can to them before they kill too much of themselves. Now, there's two different types of mobs in these packs. There's mistresses, and I forget the name of the other ones, but basically one of them, only the mistresses use their Blood Rage ability, and the other one does not. And that makes it so, or sorry, one is Atal and one is Withered. They're both mistresses. The Atals do not kill themselves. So the best thing to do is just to reset them. You can kill them eventually, but if it's only a few of them, it's not really worth it to kill them. So I will finish off the Withered one here, and then I will simply jump off the bridge and come to this reset spot inside the tree. And you can jump into the spot, or you can just simply run into the corner like I showed earlier. Then you just wait for them to disappear. It will just go ahead and disappear if you wait long enough. There it is. And if you go too soon while they're still standing there, they will pull again. You can go and loot and reset the instance, and that's an extra pull to be able to get some extra XP. So when you're boosting, the way that you want to set up your party members to be able to get XP or get in range of XP is you want them to sit on this rock right here, and you'll have them gather up on you here, and then you will run up over to here, pull these axe throwers, run past, simply jump off here and slow fall onto this rock. Then as they run away, your group can run over there and they won't get in range of them or aggro them, and then they can sit on that rock and get XP. Then I will blink. Well, you don't have to blink, but you just need to come over here, and you can jump, or you can simply just run into the corner like that. And you sit in the corner. This is a reset spot, and easy enough. They'll reset once you drop combat, then you can continue on with your run. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all on Azeroth.